Before we get into the whole imbroglio about Palestine and Canada with Brian Lilley, please subscribe and become a member because we need to stay on the air. Brian Lilley is the foremost columnist for the Toronto Sun. He's always, well, not always right, but mostly right. And let's talk about this. So Carney's gone to the UN. Canada is supporting, Gaza, Hamas, although they say, no, there'll be no settlement if Hamas is there. If we were supporting every group around the world, what about the Basques in southern Spain? What about, the Kurds in the Middle East? There are so many distinct ethnic groups who deserve their own country. And from my point of view, the Arab countries don't even support the Gazans. So really, why are we getting into this mess?
Because it is politically popular. It is something that will get Mark Carney accolades at the United Nations, and he's down there this week.
The United Nations is run by a bunch of despots.
Most Canadians don't think that. Most Canadians think the United Nations is a great organization.
Was.
And perhaps once upon a time it was. Now who controls it? Well, you get North Korea on the nuclear proliferation committee. You get Saudi Arabia leading the committee on women's rights. And you're scratching your head. And I remember asking John Baird when he was foreign affairs minister this. I said, John, how does this happen? He said, because they go alphabetically. And when your turn comes up, you become the leader of that group. And they all take turns.
They are all despots. They're not all, but dictators. I mean, United Nations is, you can't get anything through there. You know that. And so they'll be popular with the United Nations. But really, how do we get into this mess? And no matter what the criticism is of the government for doing it, there's no debate, nothing in Parliament about this. I mean, Carney is behaving as though he is the King of Canada. Where's this going to go?
Potentially, we could have Canadian troops on the ground. He talked about that at the Council of Foreign Relations. He talked about, having to disarm Hamas as part of this, and then said, as you may know,
what Israel is doing? Disarming Hamas?
They're trying to. Can you imagine a peacekeeping operation going into Gaza? I don't see that going well. I see that as Canadian troops dying because this is a group that does not want to recognize the people living next door. They don't want the people next door living there. They want all the land. They want to control everything. And if that's been your position for decades, it's not going to change overnight because some Canadians in blue berets show up.
And they've been indoctrinated with that, even the kids are. But I mean, the thing is, the Gazans cannot get rid of Hamas themselves. They don't want to get rid of Hamas. That is their government, correct? Mm-hmm. PLO and the government. And so how can Canada be going in there trying to shake this up without getting rid of that existing government?
Mark Carney has shown himself to be far more naive than I thought. He says, well, I've got assurances from Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the Palestinian Authority, who controls the West Bank only because he's in the 20th year of a 4-year mandate. He last had elections in 2005. Erwin Kotler, former Liberal cabinet minister, justice minister, MP, he said Mahmoud Abbas has told him several times that he's going to hold elections. He's never done it. He's never done the democratic reform. Carney prefaced all of this on promises from a guy who's been breaking promises for more than 20 years.
Oh, we're so naive. But you and I aren't. Brian Lilley, thank you very much. 3 minutes. A little bit more than 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act. Once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.